My name is Autumn Crickmore. In this video I'll be doing hay evaluation. I have a little sample of hay here that the horses are fed on at the barn that I board at. Let me find a flower head, I think they're called. Based on how this looks, I think that I would assume that it's an orchard grass. Timothy is another type of hay grass, and it's sorry, I'm trying to get to focus. It's flower heads are a little bit longer and fuller. Also, if you run your fingers across those little flower head pieces, those little pieces shouldn't fall off. Hay should still retain some of its green color that you see it growing out in the field. I think that this hay looks pretty green. You can't smell it obviously, but I think it smells sweet and fresh. You don't want it to smell musty. If you open a bale and it's like dusty, that could be a sign of mold. There's also mixed grass, which is like orchard and Timothy kind of mixed together. Sometimes hay can be sun bleached as well. As a bale, this isn't a bale, this is just a flake, but as a bale, so it might look a little less green, but if you open it up, it should still be green on the inside. So sometimes sun bleaching can happen. That doesn't necessarily mean the hay's bad. There is also clover, and that does cause horses to drool. There's no clover in here, I don't see. At this barn, hay is kept in a separate building, which I like that, because keeping a ton of hay in the same building as horses is a fire hazard. We do have a loft, as you can see up there. Some hay is kept up there just to make it easier to, throw it down and feed the horses. But for the most part, it is kept in a separate building. That other barn over there is where a majority of the hay is kept. One thing I really like about my horse being here is that they actually grow and bale all of their own hay. So one of the hay fields is right out here next to the barn. So we have barn where the horses are kept, hay barn up there. This is one of the turnouts of the shelter, muck pile, and then out here this is all a hay field. Obviously it's winter time right now, so the grass is in hibernation mode. But I was gonna try to see if I couldn't find a little, but here's like a little patch. It's dying obviously, but all of this grows up, and it's cool to watch it grow up, and then them go out and cut it down and eventually bale it, and to know exactly where my horse's hay is coming from. It's important to know where your horse's hay comes from. It's important to know the type. It's important to make sure that it's stored properly so it's not getting moldy. If a bale, even if it's just a little spot of it is obviously moldy, throw the whole bale out. It's just like a loaf of bread, that the mold spores will actually travel throughout in the middle first and then make its way to the outside. So it's better to just, if you see mold, throw the whole bale out. And horses do need about 1.5 to 2% of their body weight in hay daily, or in grass and other forage kind of things. Ideally, horses would get 100% of that from grass being turned out. Depending on weather though, and your property, like maybe you have a smaller property that you're dealing with and it's just not possible to feed your horses strictly from grass, that's where hay comes in and makes up for all of that. So 1.5 to 2% of their body weight they should be eating in hay daily.